Welcome to Generator, your view into the ever-evolving and vibrant art scene in Ireland today. On this show, the Generator team take a trip to County Leitrim to interview Antonio Carty, the next of our exhibiting artists from Generator's second group show. Located near one of Northside Dublin's well-known landmarks, the Five Lamps, we catch up with Agata and Kenny of D-Light Studios. We take a look inside the 150-year-old warehouse, which is now a multimedia creative space. First up, we attend one of Dr. Sketchy's highly theatrical life drawing sessions. We speak with DJ and producer Niamh O'Brien, aka Scarlett, who gives us the lowdown on what Dr. Sketchy's is all about.
Well, my name is Niamh O'Brien, but everyone knows me as Scarlett because that's what I've been DJing and producing Sketchies for the last 4 years. Dr. Sketchy started in 2006 and it was started by Molly Crabapple, who is an illustrator and an artist. And she began Sketchies because she was working as she's working as a life model to put herself through college and to pay the bills, and she felt it was really demeaning to be life model number one, and it wasn't very personable, and she wanted to start something that first of all was fun and that really celebrated the models. So we always bill our models quite well. We push their names, and it's never, this model who's going to come and do it. It's Anaconda, Sarah Vixen, or whoever's going to be performing. We really push them and celebrate the models. So that was Molly's aim, and she started it. And then people came to her and said, "We really like what you do. Can we do it too?" And from there it grew. It's in over 100 cities all over the world. We've just opened in a new branch in Galway just last week. What you've seen today and what's been filmed today is a little bit different to what our regular sessions are. So usually we pick a theme. So our last theme was steampunk. Our upcoming next session will be the Stepford Wives. So we pick a theme. Our models dress according to the theme. We like to call it the world's longest striptease because at the start of the session our models are in full costume, and by the end of it they're usually in pasties and pretty knickers or stockings, that kind of thing. So that for one thing is what sets it apart. In between we have performances, so we usually have either a burlesque performer or a belly dancer or something just to break up the sessions. Tonight was a bit different. It was a different format than we usually do. We've decided to break out into doing midweek sessions. So they're only 2 hours long instead of 3 hours long. They're in the round style of layout, and we tried to do something a little bit different. So for our first session, we had a 40-minute long pose. For this session, we had a pole performer. It was experimental for us because we didn't know how long she was going to be able to pose on and off the pole. It was a suck it and see kind of thing.
My name is Anna Buckley. I've been polling for 5 years with Terry Walsh, and she introduced me to Neve, Scarlett, and I got this Dr. Sketchy's gig through it, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Plenty of poses, lots of nice people, very comfortable, and I got my new name of performance name, and I'd like to show. It's Anaconda. And this was what one of the sketchers did with a bit of colour. It's lovely. And then this awesome one. I'm being attacked by a dragon, but I love it.
My name is Agata Stoinska. I'm a fashion photographer, and I have Delight Studios, and as well we publish here Blow Photo magazine. I've opened the studio in 2009, and since then loads of other people got involved in the studio, so I'm sub-renting the studio to another art groups like Paper Dolls or Academy of Photography and other people, so we all kind of work here like one big family. I found this building in 2008, and since then there was like loads of troubles with investors and getting money on board and everything, and recession suddenly came, so I was really stressed, but in the same time that made me to work much harder. And as well I must say that I had loads of friends who were helping me with cleaning the building and fixing the roof and doing all the jobs which normally I would have to pay for, while those guys were just extremely generous and helpful. We started magazine 3 years ago. It's a platform for international art photography, and we distribute it in all over the world. And we just got nominated recently to Lucy Awards, which is really important award in the photography world, along really well-established titles.
I'm Kenny Whittle. I started as studio manager here in 2009, so coming up to 3 years now, is it? Yeah, coming up to 3 years here. So yeah, it's been good, and I've seen the studio grow from strength to strength. I do a lot of portrait photography, So that's what I would mainly focus on. And I suppose using the natural light that is in D-Light is what I would normally use. So the name is quite fitting, I suppose, for that. But yeah, the natural light in here, in Studio A and Studio B, is brilliant, like just for the dramatics of portraits and stuff like that. Most recently we had the BBC filming Ripper Street, which was brilliant to get here. But we've had TG Catter come back quite a bit, TV3. But again, we focus on smaller clients as well. Like we have the Friendship Card, which offers really good rates for students and people who are starting out in photography maybe that want to use the studio space too. In the reception area there we have a wall of portraits from the Homeless Gallery a couple of years ago. The Homeless Gallery again was something we opened to the public, photographers of all kind of amateurs, professionals, that kind of thing, you know, who wanted to display their work here over a week of exhibition. So they're always brilliant, really good fun. I think the recession has affected us here. I'm not sure whether in good ways or bad ways, because definitely in good ways, because we can offer spaces which are quite reasonable, and there's so many different creatives wanting to get little spaces and stuff that they can afford. So we're trying to like create these little spaces for them, because as we're here in the studio, we're still expanding like day after day. So I mean, we can be building little spaces and stuff like that. So we try to tailor different spaces for different people, you know, because people have bigger budgets than others, or smaller budgets actually, as it may be nowadays.
My name is Antonio Carty. I've been an artist for many years. I studied in NCAD and National College of Art and Design in Dublin, and a few other places along the way as well. I kind of did animation and film, and kind of came back to painting. For a good few years I was in Dublin trying to find somewhere decent to work, like where I could do bigger work, and like eventually I despaired with the situation in Dublin and moved down to Leitrim. So basically I've set up my modern apartment, which I see as being like a cave. You know, I have cave walls where at last I can paint pictures for the tribe, like, you know, to mess with their minds and stuff like that, like so. The story of how I came up with this technique that helps me make these cave paintings. I was doing that security guard job. I was trapped down, deep down in this building, and I used to love the sun, imagining the immense power of the sun, but it's so calm in the sky like that. And also the way, you were warned not to look at it. And so it was a bit like Medusa's eye. You can't look directly at it, otherwise you'll go blind, So I was always fascinated by wondering about the sun and what would it be like to be on the surface of it, and so I found this huge book with blow-up photographs of the sun, and I looked close at it into the sunspots swirling around, and it looked so much like iron filings playing with like a magnet when you were a kid like that, And so I resolved, next day I went home, found this old science kit, got like iron filings, found a way to varnish to put them together, and got the magnet, put all that, and started making portraits of the sun. And that was great fun. I could just play with the whole idea and just kind of make it come to different results, different kind of like expressions of the sun exploding and doing things like that. And but then I realised it was deeper than that. Like, it wasn't just the sun. It's like I'd close my eyes, I'd see the iron filings moving around everywhere, and basically, it's like I saw that everything alive, everything even born of energy, like rock and stuff like that. They all can be given much more emanating energy and power by making it from the iron filings like that, and magnetized different waves and fields like that. And so like I started using it to express all those things. Then I was thinking, like, the Earth is one giant magnet, and so basically we're all perhaps like these dancing apparitions, like on it, that are trapped in, or changing from one shape and circumstance to the other, and dancing around like that. It's one big magnetized imagery. I've discovered the answer to the universe. My magnetized imagery is going to evoke life like you've never seen it before. Watch. What appeals to me about comic book art, I grew up on 2000 AD and other comics like that, but to me, I find when I make a comic book story, I'm not really like that. I more try and make a sort of an epic, a mini epic, that sort of says exactly what I'm feeling about life. It becomes quite poetic, but also try and make it funny, because I hate reading a boring kind of comic like that too. But I mean, trying to evoke my life at the time. That's the way my comics come out. My advice for young artists would be to not get carried away, not to follow praise and not to follow scorn, not to follow either. Do your work for what I'd call it would be like the God of art, to a truth that you can only imagine, so you're not following money, you're not following derision, and you're not following praise, no matter how nice that is as well, because you get lost on these different things, and the answer's in you, so you got to look for it there. It's good to stick out a bit, and you get a good perspective on the world, and make art not about still lifes and things that you think people want to see. Make art about the experience of existing, and every life is the first time it's been lived. And so, what do you think? What do you want to say? And you can make it any bloody way you want. There's absolutely no rules, and so don't follow any, and you make up your own forms and ways to do it.